And now I have a really amazing friend and activist, Diane McAlpine, who is also going to share. Now, Diane's been working tirelessly on a documentary on single parents, which is to be released soon, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Thank you, Diane.
Hi. I too, like Kay, am a success story. I actually was homeless for a long time. I struggled with heroin addiction, and I fell pregnant, and also luckily enough to get public housing, or I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for that. And I'm one of the people that the government was trying to target when they made these changes, because the changes were made in order to break the welfare dependency. I was actually already helping myself. I didn't need the government to interfere on my behalf, and I continue to work to better myself and give my kids a better quality of life. And since the changes, I've been rallying and finding all these other people that are struggling since the changes, and there's a lot of people living in cars, and I can't see how these changes were meant to help people to go out and get a job when people can't even pay their rent, they can't move forward. And I see the government as more like a bully that's interfering with our ability to move forward. I see that if they genuinely do want to change the welfare dependency, they should get to know the people, because they're so out of touch it's not funny, and they should fix the social welfare system, because when you're helping a person to, the people that are dependent on welfare, it's really hard for them. Like for me to get to where I am, I had to kick doors down, because already the cuts on welfare it's deteriorated, and it's appalling now. As Kate was saying, they're not selling, they're giving away public housing, so there's less housing, less affordable housing for people. And there's a thing called the Maslow theory, and that's about how a person can, if they have these principles that within the triangle, can better themselves. And one of the important, the fundamental ways of people having a better, moving forward and getting a better quality of life is having shelter. The other thing is food, and you don't have these things when you lose money, that you can't pay rent and the rent's too high, and the welfare's not there to help people that decide, okay, well, I don't want to live in the way that I'm living, I want to help myself, and they go to get help. Well, there's no freaking help, or you're limited by how much help you can get. So I'd really like to see us single parents and my children having the same benefits that Anthony Albanese and Kevin Rudd had when they were kids of single parents. They had free education. I'm now doing a TAFE course at the moment, doing a diploma, and at that TAFE they've cut 30% of their funding. How are people meant to get better education if there's no freaking schooling there? They're privatising that as well. I did a Cert 2 because my job seeker told me to, and it was absolutely ridiculous. We just copied everything off the whiteboard, word for word. There was no learning. I don't even know what the hell I was meant to learn there. It was just word for word the same, every single person there, and there were so many women there that needed more support in other ways, but those things weren't addressed. There was nothing they were going to do with their Cert 2. It was just a friggin' joke. It was just pen on paper to prove, oh, look at us, we're doing the right thing, but they're not doing the right thing. It's all show, it's all crap, and it's because the government is so out of touch with the common man. There are so many people out there that are losing their jobs, and when they changed this thing to New Start, these single parents onto New Start, they didn't create any jobs that were for people working, so we could work within school hours and cater to school holidays. There was none of that. There was just go out and get a job. Forget that everyone, people are going offshore, all the factories and the businesses are going offshore because it's cheaper. Forget all that, just go get a job. I'd like to see one of those politicians come and live our life for about a month and they wouldn't last because they just don't have the backbone that you need to be a single parent. You have to be resourceful, you have to be strong. We're not victims, we're very strong, we're very capable, and we don't want to hand out, we want to hand up, you know. We just want the same respect that they give to the upper middle class. You know, you see all this social, you see all this middle class welfare with the, what's that, you know, how they're all squabbling over the 70 grand for the maternity leave, you know, like that's a load of crap. What does that do for you and me? How many people get 70 grand, you know, within this whole area here? How many people are going to benefit? You know, we want to have it, Australia, where you can afford to buy a house. We want Australia where you can have a job. You know, you're not in a job where you don't have any rights and you have to squabble for what little rights you have. You know, it's just not, it's not on. It has to be back to the days of when Gough Whitlam was in, and he had it so that it was fair. And like, he's a really old guy now, and he still gets letters saying thank you for allowing me to have my, you know, to get free education, to be able to, you know, achieve the things they achieved in life. That's what it's all about. Good government is about how they look after their poor. It's not about breaking them down. It's not about taking away their rights. It's about giving them rights. It's about helping them to get out of the mess that they're in, the hole that they're in. And you don't push people that are already struggling. And it took a long time. Like this, it's 40 years this year that we would have celebrated having the single parents pension. And now it's a Labor government that's taken it away. I don't even question dealing with Liberal, because that guy's just an idiot. He's just doesn't have a clue. He's a very scary man, Mr. Abbott. But Mr. Rudd, I encourage him to start finding the heart that he talks so freely about, because they're just words. You know, it's not how you run a country. What he's doing is he's a shameful excuse of a man, and I'd like to see him being more of a leader and more of a visionary and creating a better Australia where everyone has rights, where everyone can have an education and everyone can afford to buy a house. Thank you.